Hello everyone, welcome to the Reds Take. It's that time of the week where I go over my one sentence headliners for each week. So let's get started with the Thursday night football game between Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Captain Kirk sinks the Bucs ship. It looked like the Buccaneers were going to win the game, but then Kirk Cousins barely got into field goal range before time expired, and since he had the ball first in overtime, he made sure to get the job done and scored a touchdown. Even though the Falcons clearly have flaws, they continue to find ways to be in games, if not win them. Okay, Jets versus Vikings. Vikings take over London. I know this ended up being a close game, but the Vikings, I feel, dominated the game despite the scoreboard. And now the question is, how long can the winning streak continue? Ravens versus Bengals. Tucker avoids being a sucker. Justin Tucker, for some reason, has struggled, amongst 50-plus yard field goals, but was able to hit one that sent into overtime and then hit the other short field goal to win in overtime in the impressive shootout. Colts versus Jags. Finally, Prince Lawrence joins the party. Still not a perfect game for Trevor Lawrence, but it was by far the best game of the season for him, and the Jaguars finally get the first win of the season. We'll see if it ends up being a fluke or if they can build off this. Dolphins versus Patriots. Dolphins are not completely underwater. I know being 2-3 is not great, but with Tua coming back soon, you need to win the games that are winnable. Last week was an example of not getting the job done. This week they did, as they beat one of the worst teams in the league. Browns versus Commanders. The Commanders banished the Browns from the Capitol. The Commanders dominated the game from start to finish, and their hot streak continues. And the fact that the Browns are still not considering mentioning Deshaun Watson is baffling. Bills versus Texans. Stephon Diggs gets an upgrade. While both teams are good and both quarterbacks are obviously good, maybe C.J. Stroud is a better fit for Stephon Diggs right now than Josh Allen is. Just a thought. Panthers versus Bears. Panthers are no match against a pack of Bears. For 3 quarters, the Bears dominated the game, and they made sure that the Panthers didn't get back in it. Good job for the Bears to continue winning the home games that they should win against winnable teams. Vegas versus Denver. Ain't no mountain high. I know they beat the Raiders, so like they beat an elite team by any means, but the Broncos are a 3-game winning streak right now, and over their next 3 games, they're all winnable. So if you're a Broncos fan, you can be cautiously optimistic. Arizona versus San Francisco. Kyler Murray takes a break from video games to crush the 49ers. Kyler Murray went when he needed to be clutch, did just that, and played a fine game. The Cardinals in general played a more complete game. And games like this is where if the Cardinals could be consistent, then they have something there. Packers versus Rams. Rams cut the cheese on the final drive to lose the game. With all the injuries the Rams have, they were within striking distance, but they needed to take advantage so they could be in the wild card when it's all said and done, when everyone gets healthy. The Rams O-line, though, couldn't hold up 2 times on that final drive there, and the Rams had to start consider tanking at this point. Giants versus Seahawks. Seattle suffers a giant humiliation. I know Seattle's coming off a short week while New York had more time to prepare. I'm also aware that Seattle has some injuries on defense. But despite that, Seattle should not have struggled on offense like they did. And despite the injuries that they have on defense, there's no way they should be giving up a bunch of rushing yards to a rookie running back, and especially since the Giants have struggled to run the ball all year. That was just pathetic. Cowboys versus Steelers. Amidst the 2-game losing streak, it's Wilson's turn. During the broadcast of the game, they said Wilson should be ready to go next week, and with the Steelers now on a 2-game losing streak, it makes more sense and perfect time to put Russell Wilson in there versus if Justin Fields run a winning streak. And then Monday Night Football, the Saints versus Chiefs. Kelsey impresses Taylor Swift with his moves. Kelsey finally had a decent game last week against the Chargers, and with Rice out now for the season, he is fully back to being the number 1 guy for Mahomes, as he had another good game today to help the Chiefs remain undefeated going to the bye week. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. Please subscribe and chat about me. As predicted, this week will come out with my NFL predictions for this week and my top 10 college football games for this week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day.